Hey everyone, Hubcap Dylan here with an estate sale video. I recently went to a sale in Caldwell, Idaho, which isn't too far from where I live, and there was a lot of good stuff. Something for everyone: glassware, car stuff, uh, stuff for your man cave. Just a lot of good things. And I thought I'd show you some of what they had. I didn't get everything, but at the end of the video, I will show you what I got. So let's do this. I did like this Coca-Cola picture with the old store scene and the two Model A's. Up until a few years ago, I had no interest whatsoever in glassware. However, I do have an appreciation for these nesting hens, and for the price, I couldn't pass them up. So, needless to say, they went home with me. Took a browse through the kitchen, however, not a whole lot I was interested in there. Some chicken stuff. I don't know what those glasses were, the little sunflower glasses. Those might have been worth something. It seems like later on when you look at video or pictures of something, you kind of see something you should have got. Now these old Looney Tune glasses, now there's Goofy, that's Disney, so not from the same set. Now the Looney Tune glasses, I believe, are from Pizza Hut back in the early 70s, and my grandma had some when I was a kid, and I still have them as a matter of fact. I even have a few I acquired while antiquing. Now there's a nice Pepsi thermometer, and they had $95 on that. But a lot of their stuff, they did have some fair prices. And I did find some good deals, especially on half price day. Now, I wish I would have bought this little guy on the trinket dish, but I passed that up as well. Now, here's another item I wish I wouldn't have passed up. It says Ford on it, and it looked like it was some kind of a trophy. And then there was a milk can, and I don't know how old this little tin car was. It looked like it had to be fairly old. $12 wasn't bad, but it did have a wheel that looked like it was bent, but it was still a nice piece. And there's a little like a jukebox like you would find at a diner. That was kind of cool. It wasn't old, but it was still kind of a nice decor. And hello. I considered this spool organizer for your thread because I saw old vintage automotive patches on a jacket and a vest I have, and I thought this would have come in handy. However, if you look right here, one of the pegs is missing, so I passed that up. But with the price of thread these days, it would have been worth it. I used to have a space in an antique mall, and this vanity set would have been a good flip, you would think. However, I hear those are a hard sell. Now, I'm not sure about these oil lamps, if they're old or they're reproduced. I thought that was a pretty cool looking mirror to hang your hats on. And I had to check out the glowy glass, Vaseline, and uranium. There was one piece I was looking at. However, I decided to walk away, and I went back the next day on half price day. And of course, someone had bought it all by the time I got there. And here's a little laptop antique workstation. They wanted $68 for this big Pepsi sign. It was plastic, but I still thought it was cool. And for $68, that isn't too bad. I did like the chair. I think they wanted like $45 for that. The person whose estate this belonged to must have really liked Pepsi. I did like that Pepsi cooler. I thought the wringer washer was pretty cool with the wash tub. Did kind of consider that shovel as a kind of a wall hanger, but I spaced it by the time I left and thought I'd check out a few tools. There's a few items I got off of there. There's other things I should have showed. I didn't get some of the footage. I kind of missed out on getting footage of the best part, which was the car stuff. But like I say, at the end of this video, you will... But all in all, I was very pleased with everything that I picked up. Some old VHSs, and now it's time to head out and see what I brought home. And here's what I got. It's a tractor and trailer. I got both of them for one price. And there's some of the stuff I got. I thought it was a cool little pedal tractor. That was one of the things I went for. It's a Kitty BMC tractor. And here's a light bar, like the exhaust set for a 29 Ford Model A. I really want along with some other parts to go with it as well. It does have there's a light for the bucket. And here's a chart that's chassis chart that's, I believe, reproduction. And like I say, there's just various little pieces, and here's a couple of lenses in the box. So yeah, this turned out to be a pretty good score. And here's a Kool Havoline motor oil can. It's one of the big ones. I got a good deal on that, as you can see on the sticker. And these are some old drive-in speakers for the drive-in movies. You put them on your car, and so I thought those were pretty good. I got them for a good price, so I thought that was a pretty good buy. And what else did I get? And that is like a gasket, a rubber gasket for emblem for a 54 to 56 Ford pickup, which you'll see the emblem later. Here's some other stuff I got. This was on the half price day. Some stickers I got. I think I paid about $2 for the bag. Always got to have your stickers. And then some more parts for the 49 or for the 29 Ford Model A. And another, some kind of a bracket. I kind of spaced it as to some of the parts that I got. Here's the Ford pickup emblem I got. I got that on half price day. I think I only paid like $10. And of course, more Model A parts. They made me a good deal on that. And here I got a couple of mechanisms for the window cranks. And I'm not sure what this, well, some kind of a bracket, I assume. And just kind of various parts in there. I need to really kind of go through it some more. And I like these old door handles. And I got I think I got like 4 of them. Anyway, I thought that was a pretty good deal. And that was my haul from the estate sale. This was one of the better ones I've been to. There were a couple others that were pretty good. One especially, he had like over, it was in Boise, Idaho, and it had over like at least 600 tire ashtrays. The guy had collected. He probably had every ashtray that was made that was supposed to be a tire from different tire companies. And anyway, he had a lot of stuff. He had some Bonneville stuff, and he had patches. Of course, I had to get the patches, and I could have spent a lot more than I did. And a lot of the little magazines, you know, like a few Rod and Customs, you know, those little tiny magazines, car magazines. And anyway, I want to thank y'all for watching, and please subscribe to my channel and hit the like button and leave a comment and smash that bell button for notifications. And you guys all have a wonderful day. Hubcap Dylan signing off.